Alright, so let's talk about Chapter 7 Season 2, because unfortunately it got delayed. So I should have covered this a few days ago because that's when it was announced, but I haven't really seen anyone talking about that. So first of all, right away, if you already knew it was delayed, let me know in the comments right now. So you can see right here that it says available through March 4th, 2026. So that's when Chapter 7 Season 1 ends, March 4th, 2026. Now if I type in Tabor Hill Chapter 7 Season 1 into YouTube, my Battle Pass review pops up. And I looked at that video and it says available through March 4th, 2026. So the dates are the same. So just by looking in game, let's say you don't follow any Fortnite social media accounts, you wouldn't know that the season was delayed because they're identical. It still says March 4th, 2026. But if I go to the official Fortnite status Twitter account, let me just pull up the tweet. On February 6th, so 3 days ago, they posted the following tweet. They said, we're taking one more Fortnite for next season. Obviously, that's a pun because Fortnite means 14 days. Chapter 7 Season 2 drops March 19th. And then it says, opens the loot vault and starts cooking. And then they posted this image here and it says, let him build. So that is the official start date now, March 19th. So let me just pull that up on the calendar. So March 4th, when it was originally supposed to end, was the first Wednesday of March. So the first week of March on Wednesday. March 19th is a Thursday in the middle of the month. So 2 additional weeks added on to Chapter 7 Season 1. This feels very reminiscent of Chapter 2 Season 1. If you played way back then, I think that was the longest season of all time. So I just looked it up. It was 128 days. It started in October of 2019 and it ended February of 2020. That was 4 months long, a 4-month season. So if we tally up from when this season started, which was November 29th, it's going to end, like I said, March 19th. That's very close. It's 110 days. So why was the season extended? That's what I need to figure out. And is it a good thing that it was extended? So me personally, and I've got some ranked gameplay in the background. So me personally, I like this season. I like the map. I love the loot pool. I think people tend to over-exaggerate some of the issues in regards to the loot pool, I mean. Now, bug-wise or glitch-wise, there have been a ton of things in this season that have made people mad. From crazy happenings in-game to lag all over the menu screens or when you're creating combos and lockers and things like that. Even item shop lag. Now, I haven't experienced a lot of that, knock on wood. But tons of people have, and it's a huge turnoff for the game. They don't want to log into a game that's all laggy and glitchy and all sorts of issues. Nobody wants that. But like I said, it's not affecting everyone. And for those that it is affecting, yeah, it's a huge issue that needs remedy. So I read a few articles about why they potentially are delaying this season, and a lot of them said it was because it's becoming unstable. The game, that is. So I guess on the last update, tons of people have had crashing issues as well. Even readying up for a match was causing people to crash. Again, I did not experience any of that, but I apparently am in the minority here. But they didn't actually say that's what is causing the delay, that they're going to work out all these kinks and bugs and issues, and that's why they had to push it back 2 weeks. They didn't say that. In fact, their tweet was kind of vague. But they did extend some hope when they said opens the loot vault and starts cooking, because I guess a lot of people don't like the loot pool. Like I said, I love it. This is one of the better loot pools I've experienced in a while. But I guess the majority of players don't like it. And I think that stems from Battle Royale versus Zero Build, because I specifically and solely play Zero Build. So the loot pool may be good for me in Zero Build, but it could be disastrous in builds. I don't know. But the fact that they referenced the loot vault sounds like a positive thing for Season 2. Maybe they'll bring back some fan favorite weapons and mobility items and things like that to spice the season loot pool up. Now, I don't mind Reload's loot pool either. I think that's a fantastic loot pool. Blitz, it's hit or miss. Sometimes it's a good loot pool, sometimes it's not as good, in my opinion. But every time I play Chapter 7 Season 1, I thoroughly enjoy it. I have fun. It doesn't make me frustrated to play. I mean, even if I die, there's not any really cheap weapons that really frustrate me. I know a lot of people hate that arc lightning gun. Again, in Zero Build, I can't tell you the last time someone's even used it on me, let alone me see it on someone that I eliminate. Nobody even picks it up in Zero Build. So it could be a completely different game in builds. which I think it really is. So let me know in the comments, do you play Zero Build? And if so, do you enjoy the loot pool? Are you enjoying Chapter 7 Season 1? And then likewise, if you play builds solely, let me know what you think about that. Now, despite me saying that I do love this season, I will admit, long seasons are not good for the game. And I hate the long seasons. Chapter 2 Season 1 was my least favorite season of all time, primarily because it lasted for 4 months. But to me, it doesn't feel like Chapter 7 Season 1 has been lasting that long. However, in another month from now, I could change my tune. I don't know. I don't think a season should last more than 2 months, to be honest. I wouldn't actually mind going every month for a season. But you know how difficult that would be to achieve? That's a lot of work for the Epic developers. But that's how society is right now. People don't want the long, drawn-out things anymore. They want it right at their fingertips, right there, short and sweet, like YouTube Shorts or TikTok or things like that. Now, when Chapter 2 comes out, I hope they spice things up on the map as well. Not just loot pool changes, but map changes. Sometimes we'll get new seasons, but maybe 1 or 2 POIs change, and that's it. Now, that's frustrating. To wait 4 months to have a minuscule amount of changes on the map, I don't think that's acceptable. Now, we don't know what's going to happen for Season 2. It could be a majority of the map gets changed. I'm just saying, when little POIs change and that's it, it's frustrating. But it sounds like Season 2 is cooking up something good. Now, Season 2s usually are the best seasons in the entire chapters. So here's hoping they cook something good up with tons of map changes, tons of loot pool changes, tons of mobility changes. I have a feeling they're just going to bring back a lot of mobility items that people like. So, I mean, that could be a plus. You can't go wrong with things like the Shockwave Hammer or the Kinetic Blade. Those are 2 staple mobility items, even in builds. But what I would like to see are different loot pools for the game modes. I want a different loot pool in Zero Build than I want in Build. I think that would be ideal. Then people wouldn't complain as much. You got your separate loot pools. It won't mess up builds versus Zero Builds. I think that would be ideal. And here's hoping they change the power hours to power weekends, because that would be awesome as well. It's not too long that people would get mad if things are way overpowered, but it's long enough that if you work on the weekends, you'll probably get a chance to play if both days are available. Anyway, I'm rambling now, so I just wanted to mention that Chapter 7 Season 2 has been delayed 2 full weeks and now begins March 19th. I have no idea why it's not updated in-game. It still says March 4th, but that's why I'm doing this video. As I said, if you don't follow social media, you might not even know that it got pushed back 2 weeks. So I'm sure they're going to update that eventually, but right now it still says March 4th. So let me know in the comments, are you excited for Chapter 7 Season 2, or is 4 months way too long for a season? So there you go, that's all there is to it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Like is always appreciated, and don't forget to use my Support-A-Creator Code, which is tabortime.